We're playing music. I like to think of some chord changes as the destination chords and some chord changes as the pathway to those destinations. What's cool about thinking about it like this is you can take a simple chord progression like this, just the 1 chord to the 6 chord, and you can navigate your way to those landmarks in different ways. This is where we can have a lot of fun on the journey. We can use fifths. We can use fourths. We can borrow from the relative or parallel minor. That parallel minor sure does sound good, doesn't it? This is what we're going to be working on today. Chords to take you home. Three different ways that we can choose to go to our destination. Welcome to today's session. My name is Adam Maness. You are at the right place if you are here to practice. Today, we are working on chords to take you home. This session is brought to you by Open Studio. Go to openstudiojazz.com to go on a deeper dive of everything we're talking about here today. We are talking about those destinations, but more specifically, those pathways to get there. Everything that I just played was basically just the 1 chord C major and that relative minor A minor 7. And I just worked different ways to get there. I worked with some what you might call authentic movements coming down from the 5th. I worked with some what you might call plagal movements coming down from the 4th. And I worked with modal interchange, which is the parallel minor. So those are all the chords from C minor. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get going, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like nerding out on harmony with me, go ahead and click the like button. You might as well subscribe because we're going live here every other week. Our next live session is March 9th. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it. If you're watching this now and you want to know when we're going live, that's the next time we're going live, March 9th at 12 p.m. Eastern. There is a PDF for this session. So if you check the description here below, you will find a PDF of everything we're working on today. I'll put everything on screen, of course, but that's yours to take with you if you want to practice this on your own, and you should, because these are so much fun to do. So here's what we're talking about. Again, we're talking about coming to our destination, coming down from fifths, and we're going to start pulling back here. If you look over here, you're going to see this is our circle of fifths, right? So we're going to practice going to our destination chord of C from both sides of this. We're going to go from this side, and we're going to practice going from this side. That's what the fourths are, coming down from fourths. If we go down on here on this right side, right, this is coming down from fifths to C. And if we go down here on the left side, this is coming down from fourths. Each has a different character. It's not just like the same kind of thing, but from a different way. They sound completely different, and they can be used in different ways. We're also going to be working there, number 3, on modal interchange, and that is borrowing from the parallel minor. So if we're in the key of C major, we're going to borrow chords from the key of C minor, and we're going to use those chords to help get us to our destinations. It's a way that you might not think to use modal interchange, but boy, howdy does it work good. It sounds so good. And I'm going to show you how you can work that in. And then we've got the combo platter there. We're going to work on everything, all 3 of these things together to mix and match. And then you're going to be like, we're going to do the combo. And then you're going to look at me and you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's music. Yeah, what we're doing today is learning how to make music. That's what we do every day here at Open Studio. But that's basically all this is. So these are things that you could improvise, especially if you're a chordal instrument and someone throws you the tune and says, hey, set something up. You know, you could pick your destination chords, maybe like a 4, 5, 1, and then you can choose all of these different ways to get to to those destinations, you know, and back. That's what you hear a lot of great musicians do, is they'll have some destinations and they'll have these different pathways to get there. So that's what we're going to be working on. Before we hit our main lesson, this is a guided practice session. And so we like to just take a little bit of time right here in the beginning and warm up. You might shake it out. I like to shake my hands out, get the blood flowing. You might give your shoulders and your neck a little love here. Get to your instrument. Make sure you're at your piano, at your guitar, at your vibes, wherever you are. Your accordion, there's no judgments. There's no judgments. I like to roll my shoulders a little bit, just giving love to my back. All of this architecture that helps to support us playing the instrument. I'm going to take a big, deep breath here. This is going to be, I know for me, this will be the deepest breath that I've taken all morning, because I've been working on this session and I've been, in some deep work, but now's the time for the joy, right? Now's the time to do what we want to be doing, which is practicing our beautiful instrument and having some time for ourselves, for the things we love. So I'm just going to take a second here in silence and take a big, deep breath. And I encourage you to enjoy this with me. Don't cheat yourself at the end. Let that exhale all the way out. It's real. That's chef's kiss. That's where life is right there, that exhale. So we're going to just take a minute here to check our mirrors, make sure that you're in a good position. I like to be, as the older I get, I'm getting a little lower. I think I'm shrinking, but also I'm just preferring my elbows to be a little bit lower on the keyboard. I like the way that feels. It helps me to get a nice weight going here. I'm also going to check my feet. And when I check my feet, again, to just really take in this moment, I'm going to be putting a lot of attention on feeling the bottoms of my feet on the floor, feeling my right foot. You can't see it, but I'm sort of tapping my sustain pedal. I don't want it on the sustain pedal, obviously, but I want it ready to go. So I'm going to have my heel down and ready to pivot. All these little details are things that can be very, very handy as we're getting set up for our practice session. I'm going to put on our metronome today. Our metronome is a beat by the great Zigaboo Modaliste from the Meters. This is from Just Kiss My Baby. We used this a couple weeks ago. It was very, very popular as a metronome because it feels friggin' amazing. And it's a great way to practice besides just a regular quick track. Let's do some 16th notes. You might swing these a little bit as Zigaboo's beat here is swinging. We got it at about 68 beats per minute, so not super fast. Again, my basement is chilly, so I'm going to really need to warm up here. We're going to start on C2 and C3, right? C2, C3. We're going to go up and down a chromatic scale, 4 octaves. I'm going to use a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3 fingering. You can use whatever fingering you prefer, but I like to use these bigger muscles to just get the blood flowing. Here we go. 1, 2, da, 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 da. Notice a couple of things if you're listening to me play that. It's not robotic. I'm really trying to feel the groove of this Zigaboo beat, right? Of this Just Kiss My Baby beat from the Meters. I'm not da 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 da. I'm trying to be locked into the groove, whatever that means. Trying to be open to that. Play with me. Try it again. 16th notes. 1, 2, da 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 da. Not just a warm-up, it's an opportunity to make music. Let's do it again. Really put your attention on, you're recording this, you're at Capitol Records, this is going to be on someone's album, and you need to play this like it's music. Try that again. 2, dot, 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 dot. I'll tell you what, I've seen it time and time again. I've been lucky enough to work with some incredible world-class artists here at Open Studio, helping to make their courses. And they really put their entire attention and their entire awareness on everything they're doing, whether they're just sitting down to warm up or they're recording something. There's no difference. And I don't know about you, but I've been caught up before of just like, well, whatever, this doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be locked in. I don't really have to. It's just a warm up. And then you get to something like a gig or a recording session and it feels way heavier for some reason. Don't let that happen. Everything is on the same plane here, right? That doesn't mean you have to put pressure on yourself as you're just warming up, but let everything be as important as an important recording session. And then when you get to those big moments, they don't quite feel as daunting because you've been treating it with importance the whole time. It's almost like when you're about to go on a vacation, if you're just thinking like, oh, I got vacation in 2 weeks, vacation coming up in 10 days, vacation in 7 days, vacation in 2 days, and then you get on vacation, you've just been spending your whole time training yourself to think ahead, and you can't enjoy your vacation or your holiday or whatever you want to call it. Like those kinds of little mind games can be just super hacks for keeping your head in the game when you're doing something important. All right, let's get to our main chunk of our session today. So here we see we are going to be working on a basic chord progression, just the one chord in the key of C, C major, and the sixth chord in the key of C, A minor. We're starting with this number one chord progression. It's literally those two chords kind of sandwiched there. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work from fifths above. So that's from this right side of our circle of fifths, right? So we're going to be backing that up. And we've done this plenty of times before. This is our first and tried and true way to get to our destination chords. Let's first of all just play our destination chords here. Same beat on our metronome. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can play them any way you want. I'm just going to play some basic triads. I might throw some sauce in. Try number one again. All right, so that's the basic sound, right? That's what we're going to be doing today. The first way is that we're going to get there, that we're going to create a pathway. Think about, here's our big destinations, and all you see in between them is just nothing but woods or field, and you need some kind of path to get there to these destinations. You're going to have to carve that out. So we're going to start first here at number 2 by approaching each of our landmark destinations from a dominant chord a fifth above them here. So E7 is going to approach A minor, and G7 is going to approach C. This is an old chestnut you've probably heard a billion times. So let's play number 2 here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Already, you can see that it's setting up those chords. Let's try it again, number 2. Two more times here at number 2. This is our very first pathway, and it's a really great, tried and true pathway. This is like the go-to. One more time. Let's try number 3. We're going to do a whole click back here on our circle of fifths. Check this out. So we're adding basically a 2 chord before each of those dominant chords, right? If those dominant chords are a 5-1 to our landmark, we're going to back up that circle another fifth above with the root. Now notice though they aren't dominant chords. We're going to be using minor chords and minor 7 flat 5 chords to sort of set up our 5 chords. So here we've got a B minor 7 flat 5 to E7. We've got a 2, 5, 1, right? So we just keep backing up that circle. Again, if you're composing a chord progression, if you're making an arrangement, and you want to add something to the arrangement, these would be the things that you could add harmonically. Let's do one more time here, number 3. Number 4, we're going to back it up one more time here. So we're going to add a C7. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff there. Let's talk about number 4 here, because there's some things going on that I want to really make a point of here. So number 4, right? We're gonna if we look at where we're going to A minor, and if we back up our roots, right, on the roots of the chords, here's our A minor next to C. If we back that up, we've got E, B, and F sharp. Yeah, those are the roots that are a fifth above. So if we're gonna land on A minor, and we're gonna back it up 3/5, right? Come down from 3/5, F sharp, B, E to A minor. Now you're thinking like, well, wait a minute, Adam, here you've got, on the roots, you've got E, F, and B flat going. So what we're doing here is we're using some tritone substitutions. So instead of E7 to A minor, notice that in E7, the 3rd and the 7th, right? The guide tones of E7 are G sharp and D. Now those guide tones share the 3rd and the 7th with another dominant 7th chord, a B flat, right? It's the same tritone on E7 and B flat 7. And by the way, those roots happen to be a tritone apart. It's a tritone sub. So instead of E7 to A, we can use a B flat, right? And instead of like a B7 to E7 to A, we can do the tritone sub of the B7, F7, right? It shares the same 3rd and 7th, F7 and B7. Isn't that cool? So those are interchangeable, and you'll hear musicians interchange these all the time. The tritone sub is one of the most common ways. It's part of the family of dominants, is what we call it, which is 4 dominants in a family, actually. But these are kind of some of the most prominent ones that you might see replacing these direct, secondary dominants. So instead of B7, E7, A minor, we can use tritone subs, F7, B flat 7, A minor. Same guide tones in the right hand, right? Listen to that. Isn't that cool? And then instead of doing like an F sharp, we can use the tritone sub of the F sharp 7. Like the F sharp would be the 5th above of B7, right? Taking it back a further step on the right side of that circle of 5ths, we can use, instead of F sharp, C7. And then we're just going to put the 3rd of that C7 in the bass to create a different movement. So this is how you can create incredible sounding voice leading, incredible chord progressions using the circle of 5ths. That's a chord progression heading from C major to A minor. Everything is going in the circle of 5ths using tritone substitutions as substitutions for just secondary dominants. You can do the same thing from there. If we change the roots to just F sharp, B, E, leading into that A, listen how that sounds. Right? It's the same guide tones. It's the same 3rds and 7ths of all of those chords. Isn't that something? And then from there, from the A minor, we're heading to our 2/5 to C. Same thing. We're just going to add a secondary dominant. We're going to pull back another click from the D. What's next? A7. And we're going to put the 3rd in the bass of that. We're going to do like a mu chord here, Open Studio mu, where we've got that A, add 2, or add 9 over C sharp. It's going to give us a nice chromatic movement, just like the C gave us a nice chromatic movement. Isn't that awesome? Let's try number 4. That's a long-winded explanation, but that's pretty sick, eh? Let's try number 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and. Try it again, number 4. Amazing. Two more times. Last time. So there it is. That's coming to our targets, to our destinations from the fifth above. It's the first way. It's tried and true. Let's check out the next way. From the other side of the circle. So we were on the right side of the circle. Now we're on the left side of the circle. The cool thing is we can do this same exercise. We can reach our destinations from the same way. Let's go back to number 1 here and just hear our destination chords as they are from the beginning. Play with me. 3 and. We just want to get this in our heads. Now we're going to approach each one of those from a fourth up. Check out number 2. Right? Approaching that A minor from a fourth up. Now we're going to approach the C from a fourth up from that F. It's called a plagal cadence. Extremely popular in the last half of the 20th century. Those authentic cadences from a fifth up, popular in the first half of the 20th century. These, popular in the second half. They're warm. They really feel like you're bringing it home, don't they? One more time at number 2. You'll notice that when we're going to that A minor, I'm using the D minor 7, a fourth up. I'm going to be using minor chords to get to the minor chord. That's just my own choice. You don't have to do that. Check out number 3. How great is that? I'm using all minor 7s here. We're going another click back to the left, right? So a fourth above our fourth above, right? So here we've got G minor, D minor. Notice that bass movement moves down in fourths. Then B flat, down a fourth to F, resolving down a fourth to C. Let's do number 3 again. Again, a great composing tool. You got a landmark? Use some plagals. Check out number 4. We're going to go crazy with number 4. I went a little too crazy. We're going to take it 4 fourths up. Let me try that again. I got to get the rhythm right. It's crazy, right? How that pattern, our ear, really, it goes with it. Even though it's all of these minor chords in a row. Check that out. It doesn't sound weird at all. That series of minor 7th chords all in fourths. Fourth down. Check out the bass notes here. I'm just going to play the bass notes and I'm going to try to get them down in fourths. Right, just coming down in fourths. Same thing here. Amazing, right? Let's do number 4 again. You know, from like the 1960s on, these are the sounds that you're hearing, right, in popular music. Through the 70s, through the 80s, through the 90s. So those are our movements from a fourth above. How great is that? How awesome is that? If you're digging this, please hit the like and subscribe button to let you know when we're going live again. We go live all the time here, as Peter Marr likes to say. We go live all the time. So there's a song. I mean, again, it's the exact same landmarks as our movements from the fifth above, right? But it's a whole different feel. It's like being in a different decade. It's crazy, right? Well, let's get to the 2000s, because here's what you might hear a lot of artists currently do. A little modal interchange. This is something that you might hear from people like Stevie Wonder, from people like Donny Hathaway, from people like Prince and Michael Jackson, from people like Robert Glasper, from people like Radiohead. Modal interchange is an incredible tool to get to our major landmarks. And it's not as like a rigid of structure that you would have to follow as far as like it's got to be this certain movement. We're just borrowing notes from a different key, the parallel minor. So not the relative minor. So if we're in C major, the relative minor is A minor. We're not going to worry about that today. We're going to worry about the parallel minor, which is C minor. This is not my favorite way to think about this, but this is very helpful in this particular context. So what does that mean? So when we're making chords in the key of C major, if we're making chord progressions, the diatonic chords, or any chord that you can make from the white keys, are these triads: C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and we're back at C. From C minor, these are borrowed, by the way, from the key of E flat major, right? This is C minor, D diminished, E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, and C. So what we can do is use that different texture to create these, again, chromatic voice leading. There's same chromatic voice leading that's available to us in those fifths and those fourths is available here in modal interchange. Let's get the basic landmarks back in our ears again one more time. Number one, we're just going to play the basic chord progression. And all right, let's try number two. We're going to borrow chords from the key of C minor. First, in A flat major. Put that major 7 on it as a common tone. And then what about an F minor 7? It's pretty great, right? Let's do number 2 again. Number 2. It's an amazing way to approach a landmark chord. Let's do number 2 more times. One more time. All right, let's go a little deeper. Number 3, let's add a couple more chords here from the key of C minor. G minor, A flat, little walk up. We're gonna walk back down. A flat, F minor 7. Right? Just borrowing those chords from C minor to get to landmarks in C major. Two more times on number 3. Trying to blow over a little bit. It's really fun to solo over. Let's do another step, number 4. Adding another chord from C minor to the mix. Oh, what are those? Is that a plagal movement in the key of C minor? Oh, did we double up here? People in the comments saying Robert Glasper. Yeah, this definitely is a modern sound, right? You'll hear people like Robert Glasper, D'Angelo, but it really comes from a lot of Stevie Wonder, Herbie Hancock, Michael Jackson. Donny Hathaway. Even some Beatles were using some of these progressions in the late 60s. One more time, number 4. I mean, come on. Don't forget to download the PDF so you can take these with you and make your own chord progressions. I mean, the best part about this is like you can pick different landmarks. Instead of A minor, you could pick D minor or F major or G major or any chord in the key of C as your landmark, or come up with a longer chord progression. This is just a great composition exercise. And like I said, if you're doing a tune that has, you know, the same landmarks again and again and again, but maybe you're getting towards the end of the tune and you need something to make it different and you want to arrange it in a way, All of these techniques, from the fifth above, the fourth above, and this modal interchange, are great for adding some spice to the mix, right? So you might not do this the whole tune, but as a way to be like, to give your audience like a change up of something different. It's pretty darn effective, honestly. Okay, the last thing I want to do is the combo, right? I want to mix these together, because that's really what composing and arranging is. It's not just picking one rule and I'm going to stick to this rule only, right? Let's see how we can use some of these things together. Let's check out number one for our first combination platter. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're going to use fifths to get to the sixth chord. We're going to use fourths to get back. Number one again. Let's use number two. We're going to use modal interchange to get to the sixth chord. Right, those keys from C minor. We're going to use fifths to get back. Do it again, number two. Tritone sub. Fifths. Let's do number three. We're going to use fourths to get to the A minor. Whew, what a sound. We use modal interchange to get back to C major. Number three again. Number four, we're going to do a bunch of different stuff. Modal interchange, and then fourth. We're going to mix it within the pathway. Fifth, modal interchange, and fourth. There's three of them. I did that one. Let me try it again. Number four. Whew. This might be too much. This one might be too much. It's good to know where your limits are. No, we can make this work. We got to find the right melody. That's the key. Finding the right melody on top of the chord voicings is key. There it is. Something like that. Let's try it again. Number four. So modal interchange and fourths. Now we're going to do fifths. And then modal interchange and then a fourth. Y'all, that's so much fun. It couldn't be more fun. Thank you so much for your work today. Again, make sure to download that PDF. Go to openstudiojazz.com if you want to sign up and become a member. Now's the perfect time, because we've got new courses coming out in the next couple months like crazy, and you're going to love what we already have on the site. There's a bunch of stuff like this. And thanks to all of our Open Studio Pro members here in the chat, making the chat a fantastic place to be. I'll be back in 2 weeks on March 9th. If you're seeing this before March 9th, 2024, join us at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live on March 9th doing another guided practice session. Thanks. Till next time. Happy practicing.